but the loss of Circe was universally regretted. We were relieved of all duty until we got thoroughly rested up, while our horses had the best the ranch afforded. But at a large cattle ranch there is always something doing, and it was not long before we were again in the saddle and preparing for another trip on the trail. To the cowboy, accustomed to riding long distances, life in the saddle ceases to be tiresome. It is only the dull monotony of following a large herd of cattle on the trail day after day that tires the rider, and makes him long for something to turn up in the way of excitement. It does not matter what it is, just so it is excitement of some kind. This the cowboy finds in dare-devil riding, shooting, roping, and such sports, when he is not engaged in fighting Indians or protecting his herds from the organized bands of white cattle thieves that infested the cattle country in those days. It was about this time that I hired to Bill Montgomery for a time, to assist in taking a band of 900 head of horses to Dodge City. The journey out was without incident. On arriving at Dodge City, we sold the horses for a good price, returning to the old ranch in Arizona by the way of the old lone and lonesome Dodge City trail. While en route home on this trail, we had a sharp fight with the Indians. When I saw them coming, I shouted to my companions, "We will battle them to hell." Soon we heard their yells as they charged us at full speed. We met them with a hot fire from our Winchesters, but as they were in such large numbers, we saw that we could not stop them that way, and it soon developed into a hand-to-hand fight. My saddle horse was shot from under me. At about the same time my partner, James Holly, was killed, shot through the heart. I caught Holly's horse, and continued the fight until it became evident that the Indians were too much for us. Then it became a question of running or being scalped. We thought it best to run, as we did not think we could very well spare any hair at that particular time. Anyway, we mostly preferred to have our hair cut in the regular way by a competent barber. Not that the Indians would charge us too much. They would probably have done the job for nothing. But we didn't want to trouble them, and we did not grudge the price of a hair cut anyway, so we put spurs to our horses, and they soon carried us out of danger. Nearly every one of us was wounded in this fight, but Holly was the only man killed on our side, though a few of the Indians were made better as the result of it. We heard afterwards that Holly was scalped, and his body filled with arrows by the red devils. This was only one of the many similar fights we were constantly having with the Indians and the cattle thieves of that part of the country. They were so common that it was not considered worth mentioning, except when we lost a man, as on this occasion. This was the only trouble we had on this trip of any importance, and we soon arrived at the Montgomery ranch in Texas, where, after a few days' rest with the boys, resting up, I made tracks in the direction of my own crib in Arizona. End of chapter 9.